Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my very first vlog for my new YouTube channel. My channel is called Coquettish Adventures, and I called it that because, one, my stage name is Margaret Coquette, and that's what I'm going to be going by for the channel. And two, I am very coquettish about how I travel, in that usually only about 4 to 5 people, give or take, who are very deeply close to me know at any given time where and when in the world I'm going to be traveling. So with that being said, let's just throw you right on into where I'm at and why I'm here tonight. So I am in Memphis, Tennessee tonight, and I specifically am in a residential neighborhood that was built in the mid 1950s through early 1960s. And so I'm right about 5 minutes driving distance from Graceland. So what I'm going to show you all tonight is what a family who had access to this neighborhood, who was able to purchase a house in this neighborhood back in the late 50s, what did they have access to as far as kitchen appliances at the time here in Memphis. Because the great thing about this house is that the original appliances which were built into it are still here and they're still functional. So with that being said, I'm going to take you over here with me to the oven that was built into this house. This is a Frigidaire, and that's a very common American appliance name. And I really hope that this camera is focusing in on all of these little controls over here, because you've got quite a bit of controls. So you've got them for poultry, pork, lamb, veal, beef, and ham. You've got a lot of different settings over here, so it was quite complex. I don't have permission to go ahead and do a baking demonstration for you here tonight. And I know the glare from the other kitchen light over here is pretty substantial. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this little island here, which has the range built onto it. And as you can see, the eyes of the range have been replaced a couple of times, but it's still functional too, and that's what the controls look like. It's also a Frigidaire. So, but anyway, so that's a little bit about what this family who originally lived here, a little bit of like what they had access to back in the days, back in the late 1950s, when Elvis was here and extremely popular at possibly the height of his popularity here in Memphis. So that's a little bit about where I am. I'm not going to reveal the exact location or the owner's name, because I would love to be able to get invited back here when I fly back to Memphis from Ireland later on, much later on. So that would be special to me. So secondly, why am I actually here in Memphis again? So firstly, I'm a huge Elvis fan, have been since I was probably 5-6 years old, when my mother and my grandfather first played for me Elvis's Golden Records, which is a record that he released in the late 1950s. And I absolutely loved it. I've loved his music ever since. But my favorite song from that record is Too Much. Yeah, okay, so I'm kind of digressing. So reason why I'm here this weekend is, first and foremost, I will not only get to sit in the same room with Priscilla Presley, but I will finally be able to have supper with her and some other guests who are here this weekend, and I will get to actually sit and talk to her one-on-one as a woman, as a human being. So that's going to be very special for me, because this weekend on the Graceland complex, there is a series of seminars, plural, that are being hosted by Priscilla Presley. And she has invited in a lot of other celebrity guests as well. And some celebrities are going to be attending as students, just like me. So I feel very, very fortunate to have this opportunity to be here and attend and just talk to her as a human being, because this was the first book that I ever read about the life of Elvis Presley, and she goes into a lot of funny, great details about like the funny nicknames that he had for people who worked with him, or his family members. Like he called his grandmother Dodger, and there was a cook that he had, Alberta, at one time, and there's an American shampoo hair care company called Alberto VO5, and he would always call Alberta, the cook, VO5. He would call out to her VO5 when he needed something, or he just wanted to talk to her about how her day was going or something like that. So it's very cute and very touching is the detail that she goes into in the book about their baby talk system that they had of speaking to each other as a couple and communicating with each other. It was an extension of a baby talk that his mother Gladys had actually used with him when he was growing up. So there are a lot of very highly personal details in this book that you don't really get in any other biography of Elvis from her life with him. So I was very touched by reading this as a child. It was first book about him that I ever read. Second reason why this particular book is very special to me personally is because if you open it up to the first photos section here, you will see this signature right here. It says Guy Harris. Guy was one of Elvis's best childhood friends from Tupelo, Mississippi, where Elvis was born and grew up, spent a lot of his formative years prior to his parents moving the family to Memphis later on. And one of the funniest things that Guy said, and I'll never forget, is how most people can't say legitimately that they had their bottoms smacked by Gladys Presley. And he did a lot because he misbehaved a lot. So when he was a child and he would visit his best friend Elvis, Guy's mother had given permission to Gladys to please go ahead and discipline her son if he misbehaved, and so Gladys would, and it was also reciprocal. So when Elvis came over to the Harris residence and misbehaved, then Guy Harris's mother got to discipline him. So, but he was so sweet and very welcoming, super welcoming. He talked a lot about his time on the police force, and he's a retired police captain in Tupelo, Mississippi, his hometown now. And I feel like I can say that because he not only told me to look him and his wife up if I ever come to Tupelo, but he also invited all the other people at the fan event to look him up if they're ever in Tupelo, Mississippi. So it just super hospitable, super welcoming, and I loved meeting him. So this video is nearly 10 minutes long now. If you are still watching it, I hope that it's because you like what I'm talking about, but I will keep sharing with you more memories, not only of this weekend, but of other Elvis weeks that I have attended, as well as I kind of progress through this weekend. So that being said, good night, everyone, and I will see you in my next video.